We are the friends that refuse to let you settle anywhere.
We want you to take whatever expectations you have for your business and your life and expand them further than you've allowed yourself to before.
We're talking style, connection, purpose, and securing all the bags.
You can sit with us, but we're going to have you step your game up too.
I'm Robert.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Susan.
Welcome to
the Most.
Welcome to the Most podcast, where you are going to learn how to be your most self. I'm Robert Hartwell.
I'm Susan Hyatt.
And I am Rachel Rodgers.
All right, so in this episode, we're going to give our hot takes on reputation management, aka dealing with haters.
And there's so very many of them.
I have a lot to say, as do you, I know.
Listen, if you want to be successful, there's absolutely no way around criticism, right? There's more and more people out there, and they always have names like Spoonball76, and they want to tell you about yourself, okay? And they will drag you for the most inane things in the world. Like, it's like, is that a speck on your shirt? Let me drag you. I mean,
yeah. On a whole Facebook ad campaign, there was a woman that literally trolled me for weeks because she could not believe that I had roots showing. And it was back remember when roots were like, well, they still are. They can be super popular. It was on purpose.
Yes, it's like ombre.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this woman was like, well, with all that money, you'd think you'd touch up your roots. Spoonball76, we see you.
Listen, and we coming for you on this episode. Okay? Spoonball that, okay?
Listen, and it's not just Spoonball76. It can also be these folks. It can also be people you know, like your friend. It could be your mama, y'all. It could be your aunties, right? It can be people that you work with, colleagues, right? Competitors. There's always folks out there who have things to say about how you are moving in the world. Yeah. And isn't it so interesting? Like, I always find that the more you are out there killing it, the more your name is out there in the world, the more you are doing something big and epic, the more the trolls are coming. It's like you do something big and you should just expect them to come because that's what's going to happen next.
Literally. And I'm sure, like, I want you to know, yes, we're laughing right now about Spoonball76, you know, but it's taken, I think, years to get to that place.
Yes.
Because we were talking on an earlier episode that some of those first early attacks, because that's really what it is. Mm-hmm. We're going to just call it what it is. You're not equipped. Nobody warns you. You don't realize, like, you think that kind of attention only happens to celebrities. I'm here to let you know that I think anytime you decide to step into, as Rachel said on the last episode, your assignment, you're also saying yes to visibility, which is saying yes to attack. So I am very hopeful that on this episode, you are going to learn how to, one, prepare yourself, and also how to get through it. Because on the other side is your greatest purpose. Mm-hmm. On the other side is actually serving your people. And all of those people that pop up, I actually want us to just, when we see that, be like, I'm on the right path.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah, evidence.
Like, I am in evidence. Mm-hmm. Speak about it.
Well, I mean, I think what we're first here talking about are the online haters.
Yes.
And I don't know if you've heard, but I'm turning 50.
Okay.
May 5th.
Last year, I was turning 40, and we had to hear about that
You
all
are?
year long.
You're 40?
I didn't know. You didn't even have a party.
I had several celebrations. But anywho, as one does.
As one's about to.
And so she's turning 50, and so now we will hear about this all year long.
Because
Enjoy.
now that I'm turning 50,
here we go.
I have even more to say about this topic because, listen, when you hit midlife, when you're a woman who's 50 years old, there are certain expectations online about how you should speak, how you should dress. You know, oh, you have cellulite, you should cover that up. You should, you know, all of the expectations that come with an aging face and body. People really get unsettled when you are like, guess what? I love it. I fucking love that I'm turning 50. I love that I have lines on my face. I love that I'm cellulite. Okay?
Exactly. It's like, why would I cover up all this juicy leg?
But listen, why would
I'm here to bless the people. Are y'all crazy?
I'm going to bless the city. I'm going to bless the internet streets. Did you know that this is an attitude that you too can adopt in the face of haters? But, so one of the strategies that I use is understanding my time and my capacity. And no one is entitled to my time or capacity, especially not someone who wants to throw shade my way and who obviously, is hurting or doesn't have enough to do in their own lives or enough passion for what it is, their mission is or their assignment is. So then they want to throw rocks at things that shine, a la Taylor Swift.
No, man.
And listen, and you have to accept that, 30% of the folks are going to like you.
Yes.
30% of the folks are going to be pretty apathetic. They could take or leave you. And 30% of the people are going to hate, loathe you entirely.
Yes.
Expect it.
Yes.
And it's fine. Like, you can be the most wonderful person in the world, and there are going to just be a third of the folks out there that you aren't their cup of tea. And that's okay.
That is totally fine. And I was going to say, too, like, we talk about haters, but sometimes it's just people with opinions. We have opinions, too, right? Like, everybody has opinions, and that's fine. Like, it's not an issue. And you don't have to correct everybody's opinion about you, and you don't have to try to earn a glowing opinion from everyone. You just be yourself, and the people who are attracted to you and your message and your work are gonna come to you. Correct. And and here's the thing: you actually want to be polarizing. You want people to be like, "No, that ain't for me," because it also means that there's another group of people who are like, "Hell yes, that is for me."
That's for me.
And that's the only way those two things happen is if there's that dichotomy, right? Like, you're not gonna have the people who love you and then have no one who's like, I hate her guts.
Right. Right. She's so perky.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, the truth is, everybody's not supposed to be for you.
Yes.
And I think we need to stop building businesses around that idea that everybody needs to come on up in the club. Actually, no. Because everyone is not your person. And everyone is also not your assignment. Right?
Yes.
So I think the more, and you just said this so beautifully, that we are living and sitting authentically in who we are. Like, why do we adorn ourselves the way that we do and put our lives out there? It's like to help give other people permission to do the same.
Exactly right.
Because the more that you are changing the narrative from cellulite to cellulite.
I mean, first of all, that's my new favorite phrase.
Right. We need shirts.
We need shirts.
Well, actually, we need booty shorts.
Yes!
Cellulite.
Cellulite across the butt.
With flames.
But I think
And sequins.
But if we're really going to do it, we should each just have a couple of letters.
Oh my God.
And when you put the booties together, it says cellulite. I'm obsessed.
I have to have
We have to make that happen. Come to the most, and we might have done that.
Listen.
But I was saying that I think what authenticity really does is it brings the cellulite to you.
Yeah.
No, but really.
Truly.
And I think that when you have those people that are in your company that you are really getting the opportunity to work with, it allows you to see that's the assignment. Those are the people. That's what I need to be after. And so when those haters come, which they're going to, you're able to kind of do that cat meme, Susan. Like, less of this, more of that. No.
Well, and something that is also interesting is that because I get so much unsolicited opinions thrown my way.
Or one could say vitriol.
Yeah.
It could be a word that you could use.
And it's usually around my appearance or the language that I use.
Yes. Or it's like, why are you showcasing your boobs? Hide those boobs.
Oh,
the
right.
world
Like, it's too
can't
much.
handle seeing boobs.
It's too much. Who do you think you are? And often I will use those as educational moments for my audience, not because what's being said necessarily I'm, so upset about. It's more like, hey, look at what this white dude in my DMs had to say about my business or my attire or whatever. And here are all the ways this is the patriarchy, white supremacy, misogyny at work.
Right.
And so when you receive these kinds of things, here are all the reasons why not to take that personally and to take it as a sign to keep going.
Yes.
Because why would they want you to dull your shine? Why would they want you to be quieter?
Yes.
Who does that serve?
Exactly right. And this is the reality of being an ambitious woman or, you know, person of color or in a fat body, right? Like it's like if you are not whatever the world has decided, right, is acceptable and you are happy not being that, let me tell you something. Mm-hmm. The way people are like, listen, you can be whatever you want to be as long as you're miserable being it. So that we can all prove that the only way to be happy is to be a blonde size 4 person, right? Or the only way to be happy is to be a straight white guy, right? And like everybody else needs to showcase how miserable they are. And when you are out there being your authentic self and being fine with it and celebrating it, right? And you know, having people hate on you and being like, I don't care, next, right? It's like they cannot stand that. There's whole books about it. What is that book by Sadie Doyle, I think?
Trainwreck.
It's called Trainwreck, and it's literally about how the world is designed to put women on a pedestal and then knock them off no matter the circumstances, right? And so in that book, they talk about Taylor Swift.
Yep.
They talk about
Miley Cyrus, Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton,
Whitney Houston,
yep.
Billie Holiday. I mean, this goes back, right, to like, I think Virginia Woolf was in there, right? It's like so many different, when you are particularly a woman who is standing up for yourself, who is celebrating yourself, who is celebrating your art and putting yourself out there, there is so much hate that comes your way, right? And so many ways that people want to tell you, you need to live your life differently. You need to, you know, you need to lose weight, or you need to hide that cellulite, right? Or you need to show up differently, right? You need to not be your authentic self in some way. And to me, the key is I want to do that all day, every day. I'm going to be me, right? I'm going to wear a cat suit in my size 12, 14 body and celebrate myself. And I don't care if you don't like it, right? It's not for you to like. I like it. And that is the key. And when I show up as my authentic self, whatever my truth is, whatever my identity is, I think it creates permission for other people to show up as their true self. It gives us all more, you know, boldness to really be our true selves and stop hiding those parts of ourselves. Because those are the parts that actually create the best work in the world. Those are the parts that create really powerful brands. It's like all of that stuff that, you know, you feel like you need to hide or you have shame about is probably the stuff that you need to put out there and wave high, because that's the thing that people are going to be drawn to, right? People are drawn to truth and authenticity. And listen, like there's always going to be people who would rather you go away or who rather you fail, who are literally looking for a way to make you fail. And forget it. Like stressing about them is a waste of your time. Spending your time focusing on how you want to win, how you want to show up, how to do your work in the world is the only thing that you can do. So to me, reputation management is really just about showing up as yourself every day, right? Being true to who you are. And honestly too, it's not like we're above making mistakes. So if you feel like you make a mistake, or if you feel like you did something that you're like, I regret that choice that I made. Like, yeah, I shouldn't have said that, or yeah, I shouldn't have acted that way. That's not really me, and I played myself, and y'all are right? Don't think that means that you're above commentary, right? You're not above getting corrected, right? You're not above getting feedback. And when you get feedback and you feel like you did something wrong, apologize for it, learn from it, and move on. So to me, it's not really about like, oh, I gotta convince people of something, because I think that's what reputation management is for a lot of people. Is like, I'm creating a facade, and let me make sure that everything that's out there is aligned with this facade. And I say, no, I say, be your authentic self. And if you make a mistake publicly and apologize publicly, right? And make it right publicly and then move on.
Exactly. It's not so much like, I think reputation management sounds like control, whereas it's really inner control and integrity management. And you know, you don't really have to be so worried about your reputation if you are good with you.
Yes.
Right? And so
that is exactly right.
You know, I grew up with you know, my mom was always like, your reputation is all you have. And it's like, well, actually, that's not true. You know, you have you, and if everyone is talking shit online, but you know that you're in integrity, I think that's all that matters. And the people who know and love you will know the truth about who you are and what you do.
Exactly.
Yeah. I keep hearing the word public, showing up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm honestly just like having an emotional moment over here because I'm realizing when we were building Broadway Collective, I had a team of 22.
Mm-hmm.
And so every ad that I did for Broadway Collective, yes, it was me, yes, it was my voice, but it was also lots of B-roll of my students, and it was also going to a very, very specific segment of people.
Yes.
Parents and students who loved Broadway.
Yes.
Right? So a lot of that segment is in some ways inclusive or understands the arts.
Yes.
Right? And when I started running ads for Strength on Stages, we then went from a team of 22 to a team of 5. And so I started monitoring the ads because there's 5 people.
Yes.
You know? And it was the first time in 6 years as an entrepreneur that we changed our targets on our ads.
Yes.
So
now it's like a broader audience.
It's a broader audience, and it's going to adults, and it's not going to kids who love theater. And so the hate and the things that people were saying were things that I was hearing as a 7-year-old around like, why is your voice high? Or calling me out of my name or using the F word. And it just broke my heart because I'm looking at these commenters and they're mainly people that look like me and grown adults. And I think what I love, Susan, you saying is keep it in the public. Like what I'm not going to do is manage their comments.
Yeah,
I'm going to leave it because I want to leave it so hopefully you see it and realize like I'm still going to show up. Like I'm still going to show up, and the reason I have to show up is because that person is someone's parent.
Yes.
Right.
Somebody's uncle, somebody's friend who is discouraging them.
Correct. You know, and so I don't really know where I'm going with this other than it's about resiliency.
I agree.
You know, and it's just a reminder. I think this hate, these attacks, our character checks, it's all about a reminder to the mission and a reminder to like why we get up and do what the heck we are called to do.
Yeah,
it's true.
That reminded me. Thank you.
And honestly, people gonna hate on you no matter what you do. So you could be a fake, phony version of yourself, and guess what? They're gonna send you vitriol for that as well. Yeah. So you might as well just be you and be happy, right? Do what makes you feel joyful. Love yourself. Love your body. Love what you have to bring to the table. Love the identity that you behold, right? Like just love all of it and love your work and be okay with people not loving it. Like it's all good. It's not going to break you. And I think that's the thing you need to know. And we do have to get comfortable with it. Like I remember early, literally in 2011, being pregnant with my daughter and people like other lawyers hating on me online. And this was the first time that I had people like writing whole blog posts to call me out my name and say things about me that weren't true. And these were grown men, like with gray hair, like grown, that were saying these things. And I felt like I was crushed by that. I had never had somebody, and I was like, oh my God, my career is over. Like I was in such a panic and was so devastated by it. And the reality was my career was far from over. Yeah. And really what happened was when I responded to that hatred and when I shared who I really am and stood up for myself, all it did was bring all of those people to me who were like, yeah, we don't, like that represents the old version of lawyers and we are a different version and you represent us. And so it actually brought an audience to me being hated on, right? And so we think like, oh, I'm crushed. Oh, it's going to be over. It ain't going to be over, okay? Literally, if you Google my name today, you will probably still, it may not be on the first page anymore, okay? It may be on the second or third or whatever, but it's somewhere in there. You can still find blog posts saying what a terrible, horrible person I am. And I'm just like, guess what? I still have a best-selling book and I got an 8-figure business And I got a lot of success last time I checked. And ain't nobody checking for those old guys talking about me however many years ago, right? So don't think because somebody said something that's not nice about you and they put it in black and white and typed it on the internet that means your business is over or your career is over, whatever moves you're trying to make is over. Right. It's not. Yeah. Far from it.
Thank you, next.
Thank you, next.
Thank you, next.
Thank you, next. Yeah. So, we would love for you to come to The Most in LA, where we're going to dive deep into these kinds of topics, and we're going to teach you about resiliency, about integrity, about, how to be online and develop the mindset and the attitude that's necessary to be the most version of yourself. So go to welcometothemost.com, get those tickets, and we will see you in LA.